Alright guys, in this video we're going to talk about how we interpret the information that we get in Desmos. We're going to need these labels up top. So you'll notice that these two columns, we had calories and sugar. When we copied that data, we ignored the two labels at the top. We're actually going to need those two pieces of information. So our first number is calories. That first column all represents calories. So if I go back to Desmos here, you're going to notice that this 470 matches up with what we had there, 470. And 64 grams of sugar, that also matches up what we have in Desmos of 64. So anywhere where you see X, we need to think about that as representing calories. And anywhere where we see Y, we're going to think of that as representing grams of sugar. So what we're going to do is interpret. We've checked off item number 1 here. We've made a table on Desmos. We've typed that information in. We've done number 2. We've typed in that equation, and then that gave us the slope and y-intercept that we're interested in. And now we're going to interpret them. So going back to Desmos, you'll see that down here in our equation we have an m value. M equals, from this equation that we typed in earlier, 0.09, and then it has some more decimal places. I'm just going to use the first 3, so 0.09, and then round that up to be 5. You could use more if you wanted to, but that is our slope, 0.095. So if I go back to this, this is interpreting what that slope means. So it says for every one additional, and then you'll notice I have the letter X here. So this is a sentence structure that we're going to use a lot. So what is X? Well, in this problem, X is that first category, calories. So in our table here, those were all of the calories. So I'm going to type in this spot, calorie. So for every one additional calorie, the predicted Y. Well, what's Y in this problem? We're talking about grams of sugar. So that's what I'm going to type in. Grams of sugar will increase or decrease. So we need to choose one of these. Is our slope going up or down? Is our slope positive or negative? Because our slope is positive, as we go from left to right, that increases. We're going to get rid of that decrease right there. Those are just the two options that you'll see. And then we have the number. What is the number that we're looking at? Well, we said that was 0.095. So that's how we interpret that number. That 0.0945 calorie, that is the predicted grams of sugar, will increase by 0.095. And then we can also apply that same technique to the y-intercept. So over here in this problem, we have the number for the y-intercept, going back to our equation, that's 11.4. That's where it crosses the y-axis right here. So we have the y-axis, where does that line go through? It's 11.4. Again, there's more decimal places there, but we're not going to use all of those. So I type that in. 11.4 is the predicted Y. We need the Y label. So once again, that is going to be grams of sugar. Grams of sugar. For 0, and then our X label. So X is the number of calories. So 0 calories. There we go. The last thing that we need to interpret then is our correlation, that letter R. So if I go back to Desmos, you'll see that we have two R things. One is R squared, and one of them is just R. We're just going to use this R value right here. So that 0.9096, that's the number that we're going to type in. That tells us, is there a strong or a weak relationship? Because that number is so close to positive 1, that's going to be a strong positive. So that's what we're going to type in there. There is a strong positive linear association between, and this is where our labels come in again. So we have an X and a Y. We're talking about calories and grams of sugar in, what are we looking at? Well, we're looking at Starbucks drinks. So that's what we type in. Starbucks drinks. There you go. That's how we interpret the slope, y-intercept, and correlation from Desmos. Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys.